Good morning, guys, and welcome to our broadcast. Happy Tuesday. It's Tuesday, the 23rd day of January already. The month is going by. How are you folks doing? How are you guys doing? The many places you all are joining us from this morning. How are things at your end? Great to see each and every one of you folks who are joining us. We're going to say, as per normal, encourage you folks to share the live, encourage you folks to smash that emoji button, folks. Joining us, we got some stars on Facebook, and that's a good way to support our broadcast. We got some stickers on YouTube. That's a good way to support our broadcast as well. Wherever you all are rocking and coming from this morning, tremendously privileged to have you guys with us. Those of you who are coming and going from someplace around the world, across the world, travel safe. We've had some folks home with us, and you're traveling back up to the United States of America. Travel safe. Watch those shrimp, folks. Watch the shrimp. Watch that shrimp. You're taking seafood, might not be a good time. You're taking produce and so on. Be careful there. 40 pounds of cocaine got to JFK. Beat all the detectors and detections and layers of security that we have here. Beat all of that. 40 pounds of cocaine got all the way to the United States. We might want to watch that. What are you guys having for breakfast this morning? And y'all know the old boys start with a cup of coffee. How are you folks doing? How was your week started? Oh my, yesterday was the day of the National Assembly. Wow. I just want to say to my colleagues, congratulations. Wow. Wow. 5 budgets later, it's the PPP's budget. They claim it's the biggest budget ever. And yet they seem so unprepared for the debates, Tommy Gibbs. Tommy said, now I wake up, no breakfast yet. Man, tell me when I grow up, I want to be like you. And now bunks up. Brian Lewis, son of fortune. Why is it the People's Progressive Party Civic always seems so ill-prepared for these budget debates? Welcome to FYI, for your information. Folks, believe it or not, it's the 23rd day of January already with month end. Into February. We think we're going to be doing a meet and greet in February. Fundraiser. We haven't put out the graphic yet, but we have to procure a generator because, Jesus. Biggest budget ever. Blackouts still here with us, folks. Blackouts still here with us. Camille Cox, Grace Noel, Debbie Collins, Tommy Gibbs. Good to see you folks there. Grace Noel, good to see you as well. Lyndon Gill, I see you, Lyndon. We see you. We see you, Lyndon. Camille say, no, get it up, try. I want to be like y'all. The Arnolds of this world. I want to be like y'all. The Bezos, the Zuckerbergs of this world. Yeah. Debbie say my bed still is what kind of shoes this folks? Oh. Debbie say still my bed. The folks enjoy. Please and thank you. Debbie says loud and clear. Thank you so much. The only technician on duty. Testing all the other folks. Folks, what a budget day yesterday was. And late into last evening, we were still there listening what was happening, trying to support our colleagues who had to speak. And so couldn't get on the program. We had the content, but boy, sometimes we get tired too, believe it or not. Some folks have shared, you got a lot of energy. I do, but I still get tired. Accept it. Still get tired. My wife knows I got a lot of energy. She knows. Let's ask her. But I get tired too. I get tired of hearing the nonsense from the other side. 5 years in, they make some good points here and there. They make some good points, but never in a coherent way, or for any consistent period. They got a lot of folks who work for them and can do research and so on. But see, the kindness, friends, family, favorite thing too far. Sometimes you got to bring in the professional people, Dolly, and the other folks. You got a lot happening. Plenty, enough happening, folks. And we were part of interrogating that yesterday. You see? That's what we got to do. That's the process we signed up for. Because they come and they tell you all kinds of hurly-flurry things about this budget. But see, when you put it to the test, when you start to interrogate the administration, right, the thing speaks for itself. the thing speaks for itself. When you start to analyze, when you start to, what's the word? When you break down the numbers into smaller parts, then you see the real. Then you see the whole thing. Then you know the whole thing. And this is what, folks, we got to continue doing. This is what we got to continue doing. Making the arguments. Is that what we say? Making the argument. Is what we got to continue doing. What is that word? When you pull apart, dismember. That's one word. I don't want to use such a cool word. Disaggregate. That's the word I was looking for. When you disaggregate, dissect, Kishan firing. Folks, yesterday morning, after we closed the program, I went off to see my dentist. I had to do a root canal. Did one last Monday, I had to do one yesterday. I told you how the year started. I got to focus on me. I want to do a physical examination. I got some dental work to do. I got to fix my eyes, you know, it's getting a little blurry now. I got to get back my spectacles. I want to pick up back on my reading. Oh, I've been eating up the audiobooks. You know. I went to my dentist yesterday. I saw like a torch and flames and smoke coming out of it. It's dentistry now mixed with high science, you see. But I feel great and I'm happy that I'm further along than when the year started. Further along. I hope you guys are going after those things. Right? Going after those things you started the year committed to. I really want to pick up back on my reading. You know, just for the love of it. Not just for the National Assembly or for the programs. Right? I haven't read a novel in a little bit. You're just on this text and that text and so on. I haven't read a novel. John Le Carre is one of my favorite novelists, French writer. I've read a good novel, you know, Toni Morrison or one of those excellent writers. Oh, I used to eat up Toni Morrison's novels. I get caught up in the politics in it. I want to get back to some pleasurable reading. How are you folks doing? You see, when you disaggregate, you see, I just want to have a persona here. Right? People think you know something. I actually want to know something. So when I disaggregate my own self, I don't want to be found wanting. Ran Basantram, Annette. So I went to see my dentist yesterday morning. I have some beautiful relatives visiting. I touched base with them. And then trying to coordinate with my team members at the National Assembly. Had some activities. Oh, by the time we got to the end of the day, my Lord. Sometimes I get tired too. You see? I was thinking for a long time. If you see your dentist come with a flamethrower, you know, smoke coming out your face, you know, it just reinforces sometimes that I get to the problem. Sometimes it's a little thing. Let's keep ourselves in tip-top shape. For your own good. For our own good. For a long time I've been putting off. You feel something happening and you put it off. 2024 is that year. We're coming out strong. So we were there in the National Assembly yesterday, folks. In the National Assembly yesterday. And I really want to thank my colleagues. I was so proud. I was so proud of them yesterday. Listening to the arguments. You know, the PPP come out with a budget there. Some fancy, biggest budget ever. But when you rationalize their stewardship, disaggregate the numbers, my God, things tend to look a little different. Now, this is part of when the budget was reading. The budget was read last Monday, not yesterday, last Monday, the 15th of January. It was read and they had a lot of lofty things to say. Why don't we pick up from there? Take a look and take a listen. What the Honorable Minister within the Ministry of the Office of the President with responsibility for finance, Ashley Kumar Singh, Dr. Ashley Kumar Singh, had to say at the reading of the budget about Budget 2024.
Mr. Speaker, if we were to dissect Budget 2024, it comprises allocations totaling $121.4 billion for wages and salaries for central government employees, including a salary increase that will be announced later this year. Mr. Speaker,
and that bit there was Dr. Ashley Singh telling us about they got wages and salaries in there. We're going to tell you all, right? We're not going to tell you all what is actually there, but tucked in there, we got some stuff for you. Right? We got some stuff for you in there, but you'll have to take our word for it. Right? Why they don't want to tell us what's in there for our nurses? Why wouldn't they want to tell us what's in there for our teachers? You should have got some things in there. You got some things in there. He doesn't want to tell us all of it, but we got some things in there. That's what he said. You see, you got to take them with a pinch of salt. Let's start there. You got to take what I tell you, folks, with a pinch of salt. You should have got some things in there for you. Teachers, nurses, soldiers, and based on the trend, they're going to come somewhere around November. They're going to come somewhere around November, and they're going to tell you all these lovely things, you see, according to them, that they have for you. And even in a subsequent news press conference, we heard the Vice President praising Dr. Ashley Singh for a wonderful budget. Here's what he said.
I wish to congratulate the Minister of Finance for a well-crafted budget. And I hope that every Guyanese would take the time to familiarize themselves with the aspects of the budget. I hope that they will not succumb to impressions that are formed secondhand, particularly impressions that are designed to distract attention from the key positive elements of this budget. And that is all that the opposition has been doing since the budget was presented.
Yeah, that's what the Vice President said. Folks, you know, in a democracy, people must be allowed to have opinions. People must be allowed to have opinions, and I agree that we should all as citizens engage in budget, engage in discussion about how this country's finances are spent. It would be remiss of all of us, any of us, not to do that. Annette Cummins, Orwin Dunn, Orwin, thanks for the thing. Showing off Orwin's cup that she had specially made for me. I felt so special being gifted that. Thanks for the thing. That and the other things. Feel so special. She went the extra mile to have my name engraved there. I felt so special. It's the little things. It's the little things. One of the things that Dr. Ashley Singh told us is that gold production is down. During the course of the reading of the National Budget 2024, Dr. Ashley Singh said gold is down, gold production. Bauxite is down as well. He made those admissions. Budget after budget. Biggest budget ever, only to be topped by the next budget, the biggest budget ever. The next budget will top 1.146 trillion. As a matter of fact, before this year is up, you'll have two supplemental allocations, appropriations, at least two more. So this budget will increase. But gold is failing. Bauxite is failing. But you know what? Shadow Finance Minister, Treaty of Finance, she said that's half the story. She said, no, the whole thing. That's half the story. Other sectors are also going down. We call them the non-oil sector. You got oil and gas, that's the oil sector, supporting everything, and then everything else is the non-oil sector. Well, the shadow minister for finance, Treaty of Finance, she said, no, the whole thing. And when she examined factually the foreign exchange earners, and you see what is being earned in this non-oil sector, gold and bauxite and other commodities as well. All the PPP failing in stunning fashion. Stunning fashion. Yeah. So he admitted that gold and bauxite, but it's more than that. Lyndon Gill, we didn't read the fine prints. Savannah Page, listen to Shadow Finance Minister, Treaty of Finance, on her feet in the National Assembly, walk us through some of the non-oil sectors and what their foreign exchange earnings have been in 2023 as compared to the last administration. Take a look.
The forestry sector is reported to have expanded by 5.4% in 2023. Yet in 2023, the foreign earnings from the timber sector was $20.5 million compared to $33.7 million in 2019 under the APNU-AFC coalition, a difference, sir, of $13.9 million. It was reported that the sugar growing sector is estimated to have grown by 28% in 2023. Sounds good, right? In 2019, the foreign earnings from sugar was $27.7 million, while in 2023, the foreign earnings from sugar was $24.9 million. $2.8 million less was received in 2020 under the PPP stewardship than was received in 2019 under the APNU-AFC administration. Those are the facts. Bauxite now, sir. It was reported that the bauxite mining industry has contracted by 20.4% in 2023. In 2023, the bauxite mining industry's foreign earnings was $79.6 million. But when compared again, sir, to 2019, foreign earnings of bauxite was 127, declined by 47.5 million US dollars under the PPP administration. Gold. The gold mining industry reported a contraction of 11.2% in 2023, resulting in the foreign earnings for gold being $808.6 million in 2023. In contrast, sir, in 2019, the foreign earnings from gold was $876.6 million US dollars. In short, the PPP is reporting that under their stewardship, the gold mining industry brought in 68 million US dollars less than the APN UAFC brought in 2019. Those are the facts.
Yeah. That's the economy. That's the fastest growing economy on earth, the 10th richest country. Because you see, we're being buoyed by oil. But the Honorable David Arthur Granger would never get the praise of being the architect, you see, the framework, to putting in the framework that allows the PPP to reap the oil bounty, to reap the largesse. Would never get the accolades. They want to say they come in and they do X, Y, and Z. We didn't do nothing. But yet, without oil money, the other sectors were flourishing. Veronica Primo-Rollins, Naomi Drucker, Lyndon Gill, yet without oil revenues, the other sectors were flourishing. So the non-oil economy is going down. Folks, the non-oil economy is dipping. But listen to the Shadow Finance Minister, Judith Finance, also articulate several other issues as well. She speaks to the rice sector. She speaks to what's happening with shrimp exports and generally the non-oil sector. And then in an important area she's going to touch on is the overdraft. Now, economics is not my forte, but why I could find out. And when I asked folks, and when I spoke with Jurita about what is this overdraft story, she says, like borrowing. When government doesn't have enough, government can borrow from itself, but it does it in this way. Prints money so it can pay its bills. And they tell us, this is not something to be trifled with. Printing money to pay your own bills is not something to do willy-nilly. No, this is the crux of it. Some of it happened under the last administration. And a large percentage of what you'll hear was the overdraft under the last administration was inherited from the previous administration. The last administration was the AFC administration. And a large portion of what you will hear was the overdraft under that administration was inherited by the People's Progressive Party civic administration pre-2015. But folks, you go and buckle up from where the overdraft was under the last administration, even with its inheritance from the PPP, to where the overdraft is now. You go on strap in when you hear how them boys printing money. With all the money we're getting from oil and gas. Oh, it's print, baby, print. Like pump, baby, pump. Pump and print and spend. Pump and print and spend. Listen to the Honorable Judith Finance, Shadow Minister of Finance, making the arguments.
Right, sir. During the budget presentation, we learned that the rice sector expanded by 8 times. In 2023, the foreign earnings from rice was $211.7 million US, while in 2019, the foreign earnings from rice was $222.9 million US. Again, sir, a decrease now of $11.2 million US in the rice sector. Shrimp production was reported to have expanded by 61.1% in 2023. Anyone listening to this report from the Honorable Member Ashley Singh would think that the shrimp sector is doing better under the PPP than it was under the AP and UAFC administration. But again, far from accurate. In 2023, the foreign earnings from shrimp was $61.7 million US. And in 2019, wait for it, in 2019, it was $76.3 million US. Under the PPP, in 2023, the foreign earnings from shrimp was $14.6 million US less than it was during the coalition's last full year in office in 2019. Those are the factual numbers. Mr. Speaker, those 6 sectors under the AP and UAFC administration in 2019 brought in $158 million or 32.9 billion Guyana dollars more than the PDP did in 2023. The PDP is mismanaging these important sectors as they focus heavily on oil. And they are racing forward in the direction of the Dutch disease, and they don't like us to speak about that sort. Prudent management of the economy was well established under the AP and AFC administration. You cannot come to this house and dispute those factual numbers, sir. We must look at the overdraft, sir. It is extremely important to look at the overdraft. The PDP continues to be dishonest about the overdraft, and more particularly, the overdraft that they inherited. This is the 3rd budget, sir, that was presented in this house, in which the honorable member, Mr. Ashley Singh, dishonestly stated that the domestic debt
Okay. 3 times I could have interrupted you, but you have to right now, you have to withdraw dishonest. You're imputing.
The genius would suffice, sir.
So go ahead, let's get your presentations going good so far.
Thank you, sir. He's economical with the truth, sir. Sir, the budget stated, and I quote, "The growth of domestic debt service payments was due to a full year's worth of principal repayments on debentures issued in 2021 to securitize an inherited overdraft at the central bank." End of quote. Mr. Speaker, the honorable member Ashley Singh uses the word inherited because he wants to convey an image that the coalition did not know how to manage the resources of the nation. But allow me, sir, to give some clarity and bring truth to light on this matter. Mr. Speaker, it was in this very house the Honorable Ashley Singh was asked what was the overdraft the 2nd of August, 2020, when the PPP took office. And he responded and said, and I quote, "The end of December 2020 overdraft balance $116.6 billion on the consolidated fund account represents a deterioration of $47.9 billion compared to the 2nd of August 2020 overdraft of $78.7 billion. End of quote. Mr. Speaker, the AP and UAFC coalition had an accumulated overdraft of $78.7 billion over 5 years. The PPP government, sir, racked up an overdraft of $47.9 billion in their first 5 months in office. But that doesn't end there, sir. The domestic debt repayment that Dr. Singh, honorable member, is referring to speaks to an overdraft of $200 billion because the PPP, sir, further racked up the overdraft. And on the 28th of May, 2021, they issued $200 billion of debentures to cover this overdraft. So in 9 months of the PPP being in office, they were responsible for an overdraft of $221.3 billion. So the PPP can't come here in this house and speak about an inherited overdraft, sir, when they are responsible for $121.3 billion in overdraft in a 9-month period, sir. Those are the facts.
Didn't I tell you, I'll brace it over? I ain't tell you, brace it over. Folks, you hear them people printing money out front parts? You hear all the printing money? Maxine Monroe, Ali Majid, Nero DeJean. You hear how money printing? Facts. Those are the facts. Facts are stubborn things. Lyndon Gill, those are the facts. Yesterday was beat and teach. Yesterday was Operation Beat and Teach. I remembered when the administration, the previous administration, adjusted ministerial salaries. Oh, the hue and cry. Oh, the hue and cry from the PPP. Didn't they tell us that they were going to put the extra parliamentary salaries, I think, were raised at the same time? They were going to put the extra money in some fund. Whatever happened to the fund? And when the PPP came into office, one expected after all of that protest, they were going to return ministerial salaries to pre-2020. Sorry, pre-2015. One would have thought after all of that, they were going to return ministerial salaries to pre-2015. We didn't see it happen. Not only didn't it happen, with every incremental increase we've had for public servants, ministerial salaries are also increased. Right? And you should know, 6.5 on $50,000 is a different 6.5 on $1 million. It's two different 6.5. 6.5 of 50,000 and 6.5 of $1 million is a different 6.5. So while the printing money and milking the oil industry to spend, baby, spend. Oh my God. The PPP has been getting fatter and fatter. And it was Shadow Minister of Local Government, the Honorable Ganesh Paul, who made the arguments that the PPP have become fat cats now. Right? They have become fat cats now. Priya Manikchan is a fat cat. Honaj Waldron is a fat cat. Anand Prasad is a fat cat. Kwame McCoy, another fat cat. Sanjeev Dattadin, a fat cat. While the people of this country, folks, catching the tail. Listen to the Honorable Ganesh Paul in the well of the National Assembly, making the arguments about the people fat cats, the People's Progressive Party civic fat cats. Take a listen.
In 2015, when the APNU AFC assumed office, a one-time salary increase was granted to ministers of government, elevating senior ministers' salary to $870,000 and junior ministers to $696,000. It is worth noting that no further increases were provided in the years 2016, 2017, 2018, and 2019. And the AP and UAFC ministers left office in 2020, maintaining the same salary levels. During this period, the PPPC criticized the salary as fat cat salaries, pledging not to accept such increases and advocating for a 50% increase for public servants. Fast forward to today, and we witness senior ministers of the PPPC receiving a salary of $1,070,000 and junior ministers receiving a salary of $856,000. Since 2021, the PPPC has augmented what was previously dubbed a fat cat salary with an additional $200,000, making it an overweight or an obese cat salary. This raises a simple question to our hard-working, tax-paying citizens. How many of you received the $200,000 salary increase from 2021 to now? While our dedicated public servants, disciplined servicemen and women, teachers, doctors and nurses, the pillars of our nation, contend with the rising cost of living, government ministers sit comfortably in their offices receiving an obese cat salary. Additionally, allowances totaling $800,000, bringing the total monthly remuneration of ministers to an astounding $1.87 million. And the very people who are receiving this obese cat salary vehemently criticized the AP and UAFC ministers who are receiving a fraction of that figure. Yet we are expected to be grateful for the 6.5% increase, which was taxed and claims that the public purse cannot afford more.
That was the Honorable Ganesh Mahipal, the Shadow Minister for Local Government. You see these overweight, obese, fat cats in this installed regime? Folks, then I tell you, Everett Leonard and the other folks joining us, Kyle, this was a beat and teach. National Assembly yesterday. I did make the analogy as we started. PP ministers got assistants. They got researchers to help pull together, stitch together their presentations. And my God, you should hear, for instance, the Minister of Foreign Affairs spoke for 35 minutes yesterday and didn't mention Venezuela once. Didn't mention Venezuela once in that entire presentation. Right? They have gotten comfortable in their borrowed robes. While the average man, woman in this country, catching with tail, cost of living sky high, but the obese, overweight, PP, fat cats, they're living differently. And while they're hoping that some kind of a trickle-down economics, while they hope some kind of trickle-down economics is going to work and rescue the people, oh, they've gotten very comfortable. Very, very comfortable in the borrowed robes. Naomi Drucker, Andrew Griffith, Renella Suchan, Sudhari, Mikhail Andrew Coach, Siobhan McDonald, they've gotten very comfortable. But it was the shadow Attorney General Royce Ford who told us yesterday, trickle-down economics does not work. Trickle-down economics does not work. The Honorable Shadow Attorney General, Minister of Legal Affairs, in the well of the National Assembly, telling us trickle-down economics, this is not going to work. The Honorable Royce Ford.
Mr. Speaker, assuming that this budget is a real one, Mr. Speaker, the very core of this trickle-down economy to which I refer to is a contentious issue that the government is funneling unprecedented sums to very few at the top by giving handouts to the grassroots. It is public knowledge that there's a massive concentration of wealth among the few privileged persons, leaving the majority to contend with the crumbs that fall from the rich banquet. Even the distribution of cash grants and other assistance to the poor has been marred by irregularities. What happened to the COVID cash grants? When will thousands of citizens be relieved of their pink slips? Mr. Speaker, the government has no short-term, medium-term, or long-term plans for this nation. Yet we are being told that the policy prescriptions which will be put in place will reduce poverty, improve malnutrition, reduce the rate of high school dropout, stop the nation who was the envy of the region for intelligence from lagging behind countries in this region. Budgetary decisions should be grounded in a nuanced understanding of the social fabric, ensuring that resources are directed towards uplifting the most vulnerable rather than exacerbating existing disparities.
And that was the Shadow Minister of Legal Affairs, the Honorable Roysdale Ford, making the argument that economics don't work. The people don't have a plan. When you disaggregate all the fancy talk, the fluff and bluff, when you disaggregate, sectors aren't functioning. Governor Honorable Shadow Finance Minister of Finance told us the sectors aren't working. They aren't producing. They're bringing in nothing. You see? And then the policies they put in place, it's not for you and me. Friends, family, favorites, and flatterers. It's not for us. What is working? You point to a sector that is producing outside of oil and gas. Oil and gas carrying everything. Lift up everything and fetching it. Oh, they want to say, oh, the non-oil sector has grown 15, 20, 25%. But it's because of the inputs from the oil and gas sector. That's why looking as though there's some progress being made. But as Judah said, look and see what foreign exchange coming in. 2019, foreign exchange for rice, big, big, big. Foreign exchange for gold, big, big, big. Bauxite, big, big, big. 2023, biggest budget ever, and everything going down. Right? Now, Drucker said the defense sector functioning well. The defense sector thriving. You see, when you disaggregate the thing, then you have reality facing you. Part of that reality is that we have a National Assembly that's not functioning. Part of that reality we have to engage is that the National Assembly ain't working. Ain't working. As a matter of fact, the PPP, this government, prostituting the National Assembly. The only time we see them is when they want money. The only time we see them is when they want something. So the Second people, come and lie down here. And they take what they want. Come and lie down here. And like a blank check, they take what they want. It was the Parliamentary Opposition Chief Whip, Christopher Jones, who laid out in shocking terms the performance of the National Assembly under the People's Progressive Party stewardship. How many times we've met, what we've been doing in that time. Folks, billions being expended. What is the productivity of the National Assemblies, of the National Assembly? We hardly meet. Some committees never meet once. Never met once, as we will hear, folks. 97 days in 2021. Remember that. 97 days in 2021. You name a sector in this country that's functioning. 97 days in 2021.
Mr. Speaker, after the passage of the budget on the 4th of March 2021, there was no sitting of this National Assembly for 97 days. During the 97 days of no National Assembly, the opposition submitted over 470 questions to the House for ministers to answer. On June 10th, 2021, ending the 97 days of no sitting of the National Assembly, the government submitted a supplementary paper number 1 and 2 of 2021 to the House. The House was quickly called 4 days after, on June 14, where it approved the supplementary papers totaling $1.9 and $21.4 billion, respectively.
Yep. Parliamentary Opposition member, Chief Whip Christopher Jones, the Honorable Christopher Jones, for 97 days in 2021, the National Assembly didn't meet. Did not meet. We had nothing to talk about, to discuss. But then they needed some money, and so they came back. They needed some money, and so they ran back. And for 97 days, 2021, they didn't care. Parliament, the National Assembly, was prorogued. 97 days. And then there was also 64 days in 2021. 64 days, additional days in 2021. Listen what happened.
The House went into recess on August 10th to October 10th. After the recess, it took 64 days before this House met again on the 16th of December and approved a financial paper number 3 totaling $5.1 billion and financial paper number 4 totaling $21.5 billion. Mr. Speaker, the total supplementary budget totaled $49.9 billion, which carried the overall budget for 2021 to 433 billion Guyana dollars. It appears that the National Assembly only task is to approve monies for the government. For the year excluding the budget debate, budget presentation, and consideration of the estimates, the National Assembly in the year 2021 met on 10 occasions.
Yeah, that can be a productive National Assembly. Andrew Griffith, Marla Buntley, Neil Harding, that can be a productive National Assembly. Owen Don, Philip Seeley, that is not a productive National Assembly. Folks, I know you all are locked in. Hundreds of you watching us. We want even more persons to get this valid and credible information. And so we encourage you, Kyle and Marla and Andrew and Rastaman, to share the live and to smash that emoji button for us. When you do that, it tells the Facebook algorithm. When you do that, it tells the YouTube algorithm. Something is happening here. Valid and credible information. Here, sir. And then the algorithm starts to push the broadcast so that more people can watch. Do that for us, good folks. So I'm so grateful the Parliamentary Opposition Chief Whip Christopher Jones, the Honorable, walked us through some of what took place over the last 3 years in the National Assembly. Folks, his entire presentation is required. Listening and watching is required. And after he was finished talking about the long pauses, the interludes, the National Assembly sitting, the interregnum, he turned his attention to committees that should be working in the interest of the Guyanese people, like Winella Garnett and Raquel Gentle, like John Sullivan, like Savannah Page. Savannah, thanks for the thing. Savannah, thanks for the thing. Working in the interest of Guyanese like beautiful Savannah Page and Laverne Wade and Leslie Hamilton. But they're not working. They're not functioning. like so many other things in this country, like so many sectors in this country. One of the important committees the Honorable Christopher Jones, Parliamentary Opposition Chief Whip, highlighted is the Security Committee. And he laid out for us, as you and I know, what has been happening in our beloved country where security is concerned. You all know a lot of things have been happening. We all know ropes and men asleep at the wheels. And we drifting along. But folks, listen to what the Honorable Member Chief Whip, Parliamentary Opposition Chief Whip, the Honorable Christopher Jones, said about the committee's functioning, and in particular, the Security Committee. Take a look and take a listen.
Security sector. Comrade Speaker, the crime situation in Guyana is out of control, now more than ever. Coupled with the local challenges is that of the influx of migrants, which have now added its own challenges for the law enforcement authorities. The PPP, Comrade Speaker, is failing miserably when it comes to managing the crime situation in Guyana. So much so, sir, it prompted the United States Embassy here in Georgetown on the 17th of July to publish, and I quote, "Reconsider travel to Guyana due to crime," end of quote. This reconsider travel to Guyana advisory went on to state in its country summary, and I quote, "Violent crime, including murder and armed robbery, is committed especially at night. Local police often lack the resource to respond effectively to the serious criminal incidents. The advisory warns citizens that should they decide to travel to Guyana, the following measures should be taken. 1, be extra vigilant visiting banks and ATM. Be aware of your surroundings. Avoid walking or driving at night. Do not physically resist robbery attempt. Do not display signs of wealth, such as wearing expensive watches and jewelry. Enroll in the Smart Traveler Enrollment Program STEP to receive security messages and make it easy to locate you in an emergency. Follow the Department of State Facebook and Twitter pages. Prepare a contingency plan for emergency situation. Review the traveler's checklist." End of quote. The United States Embassy here in Georgetown. Comrade Speaker, the Parliamentary Oversight Committee on Security Sector has the responsibility for examining the disciplined forces of Guyana. The committee shall have the power to co-opt experts or enlist the aid of persons or of appropriate expertise, whether or not such experts or persons are members of the National Assembly. Comrade Speaker, it is alarming that a committee such as this, with the paramount importance in the year 2021, had zero meeting. In the year 2022, zero meeting. In the year 2023, zero meeting.
Honorable member, the clock says you have 0 time remaining on this first section.
Mr. Speaker, I move the honorable member to be given 5 minutes to conclude his presentation.
Thank you very much, honorable member. 5 minutes to conclude.
Thank you, Comrade Speaker. Comrade Speaker, the Security Sector Committee is chaired by the former Brigadier of the Guyana Defense Force and current Prime Minister of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, the Honorable Mark Phillips.
Yeah. Well, Siobhan, the Security Committee has never met. In 3 years, August will make 4 years, this administration and government. In 3.5 years, the Security Committee of the National Assembly has never met once. Thank you, Mark Phillips. Thank you, Mark Phillips. The sector's going down. Parliament not functioning. What is working for Guyanese? Except the fat cats, the obese, overweight fat cats in the PPP. What's working? Folks, that's the facts. Facts are stubborn things. We're working, Annette Cummins, Don Sullivan. The fat cats can grind to a halt, you know. When you overeat, it's going to, they want to eat everything. They want to make a bread and eat a food. It's only they get in by the fat obese cats. The fat overweight obese cats. That's going to do it for us at this end, folks. until our next broadcast. That's going to do it for us at this end. The fat obese cat, there's only things working for them. The fat overweight obese cats like Sue. It's only friends, family, favorites, and flatterers. It's only them things working for it. Folks, I encourage you to partner with us, contribute to our program so that we can keep going. You all know we're available via Zelle and a Cash App and a PayPal. Apologies there. We're available via Cash App and Zelle and PayPal, FMG MoneyGram and Western Union, all for your convenience, folks. So partner with us so we can. Yeah. You heading into town, you need a good justice of the peace, a good commission of oaths, two affidavits. Folks, we want to recommend the Alistair Collins firm. They're the experts of all your documentation needs. They understand the business, folks. So we want to recommend them highly. They're on the Lamaha Street between Camp and Waterloo, downstairs at the Callion Mall. I almost said down floor. Down floor at the Callion Mall, on the ground floor at the Callion Mall, folks, on Lamaha Street between Camp and Waterloo. 649-6410, 649-6410, and 685-6448, 685-6448. Yep, we recommend them highly. That's going to do it for us. Listen, Leon Blair and Rastaman and Debbie. Debbie, have a great morning. And Clear Alexis, Charmley, Richmond, all of you in the diaspora, those of you who are traveling to the diaspora today, traveling from the diaspora, be safe out there. We're going to see you guys in the next one. Forbes and Winella and Waverly Doris, we see you as well. And folks, thanks for your positive energy and for always tuning into our broadcast. As you go, smash that emoji button for us. There are hundreds of you watching us. You want to be reflected in the emoji buttons, folks. Smash that emoji button. It won't get you in trouble or anything. Give the program a share as well so that other folks come into that valid and credible information too. That's going to do it for us at this end, folks. That's our time, Shauna Winella. That's our program. Stay safe. Stay safe.